Collins running out of real estate. Heads back upfield. 25 to the 30. The 35 to 40. The 45 to 50. He has only Kowalski to beat. Gets through him. The 10 and touchdown for Collins.
Duarte looks to throw. He fires toward the goal line. And that is caught by Kadeem Wilson for a game-winning Gators touchdown.
Back on in, here's Yoxon. Yoxon to the backhand, trying to go to the front, makes the move and shot, and he scores!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead, and the Profs will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Sends one on goal and he scores! Jonah Popre scores for the second time tonight.
And it is a power play goal! The pressure is there. Wilson putting it in the end zone. It is up for grabs. Did someone come down with it? No, incomplete. The Pharaohs are the 2022 EFA champions.
Live from South Shore Little League in Staten Island, New York, PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you back into coverage of Day 3 of the 2023 New York State Little League Championship. Hello, everyone. I'm once again Andrew Rotundo, joined by my broadcast partner and engineer, Dave Pizzuto. And Dave, we saw quite a game in our first game of the day, Massapequa winning by a score of 15-2, an 8-run inning in the sixth to really seal that up. And we're going to see a little bit of a different type of game here between East Greenbush-Castleton and Saratoga Springs. East Greenbush-Castleton has yet to lose a game in pool play at 2-0. Saratoga Springs looking to keep competing here into the semifinal at 1-1. So both of these teams looking for a big win here today.
Yeah, well, at least we think we're going to see a different game here today. This has been a wildly unpredictable tournament, but like you mentioned, we are, no matter what the final score is, we are planning to see a pretty good one where there's still so much on the line. Basically, Massapequa's win guaranteed. Only one thing, that Penfield does not have an opportunity to advance, but they are going to be very interested in what happens in this game. Andrew, East Greenbush with a win in this game, win the group. They finish in first place, and it would send Massapequa Coast into an automatic entry into the semifinals, and it would eliminate Saratoga Springs. If Saratoga Springs wins this game, it would create a 3-team tie, all for first and second place in the standings, and 2 out of the 3 will advance to the semifinals. The difference will be runs allowed, the run ratio, runs allowed divided by 6 for the 6 innings. And so Massapequa is hoping that this is a very high-scoring game, and if it's not, and Saratoga Springs is able to win it, it could be both of these teams advancing as well. So still plenty of scenarios at play, and 3 teams still involved in the hunt for 2 playoff spots.
Right, Dave, and we've been discussing it all day long, actually, through the first game, and it's not only important to just win these games, it's now becoming really important how many runs you give up and how many runs you can score in these games, because that's exactly how close this whole thing can be as far as standings, because like we said in the beginning, there is only 3 games, so we'll keep reiterating it. Every at-bat is just so important, and every aspect of the game, both sides of the ball, is just so important, especially for both these squads here on the final day of pool play.
100%. And if you were with us for the first game, you noticed that we got off to an early start in that one. We started about 4 or 5 minutes early for that one. This one we are starting a little bit later. As you can see, the teams are being introduced as we speak. After the introductions, we'll have our national anthem. So we're figuring on about a 1:15 start for this one, Andrew. We should also mention, you can see the camera moving a little bit. It's gotten awfully windy here. We are under partly cloudy skies. Now, we are expecting a weather event here in the area. We're not sure if we're going to get actual moisture. there is about a 30 to 35% chance of a thunderstorm here in the area at about 2 to 3 o'clock. So that could have an impact on what happens here as well. If you were with us on Tuesday, torrential downpours forced the games to get played on a completely different field here at South Shore Little League. Obviously, we're starting here in the main complex. If rain takes over, we might have to step aside, move our equipment, or do whatever we have to. We're hoping it misses us, but that's just a programming note for all of you who are joining in case we have to leave you for any reason due to weather.
Absolutely, and hopefully that weather stays off, as this is going to be a close game. We saw it impact the game the other day that we were talking about. East Greenbush played Massapequa in that game. They took them to extra innings, and that last inning was right in the middle of torrential downpour, and East Greenbush was able to hang on for that victory. And they're going to look to do that again against Saratoga Springs. I'll go through what both these teams have been through so far. East Greenbush-Castleton on day one was able to defeat Penfield by a score of 4-1, and Penfield was held to just 1 hit and 1 run in that game. On day two, East Greenbush, of course, I just mentioned, they were able to beat Massapequa in a high-scoring affair, 9-5 in 8 innings. That was in the rain. Quite a performance for them to get to 2-0. And on the other side, Saratoga Springs, they lost to Massapequa on day one, 5-2. They were held hitless for more than half a game, but then they came back with a big win, due in part to their pitcher, Jude Miller. He had a 3-run homer after pitching 2 1/3 and getting 6 strikeouts, and Knox Redmond was able to come in and close it out. So I expect we're going to see some great pitching from both sides in this game here today.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. Even with EGC at 2-0, they know that this is still a big game for them. They don't want to be caught in a 3-team tie and leaving it up to run ratio to determine whether they advance, especially after winning those first 2 games. But, Andrew, we are going to step aside for the national anthem now, and when we come back, we should be getting ready for first pitch.
And with that, Dave, we are ready for the second game of Day 3 of the 2023 New York State Little League Championship. East Greenbush-Castleton against Saratoga Springs. And as they warm up on the field, we'll take you through the lineups. For Saratoga Springs, leading off is number 24, the catcher Gavin Murphy. Then number 1, third baseman Francisco Cup. Number 34, shortstop Cody Nakua-Som. In the 4 spot, number 12, the pitcher Jude Miller, getting his second start in the pitcher's mound in a row. Number 20, first baseman Ethan Booth. Extra hitter number 13, Gavin Spickler. Number 4, second baseman Jackson Brailer. Number 11, right fielder Knox Redmond. In center field, number 99, John Frank. In left field, number 44, Dylan Levinitis. And they round out the order with 2 extra hitters, number 22, John Edwards, and number 78, Ben Kroenke.
All right, so we'll get our chance to see Sammy Greco on the pitcher's hill, and we have a little bit of a problem here, Andrew, as Saratoga Springs is our away team in this game. We had East Greenbush as our away team, so we'll have to contend to that. But you go on ahead.
I was getting a little confused myself as I was reading that lineup.
For sure.
For EGC, leading off, number 3 shortstop Des White, number 1 left fielder Tyler Seaberger, number 15 center fielder Carter LaGrave, extra hitter number 16 Alex Therian in the 4th spot, number 99 right fielder Tyler Sharland, number 23 the pitcher Sam Greco, as we just mentioned, number 5 first baseman Trent Sales, at third base number 21 Carter Snevelli, at second base number 18 Eli Parkinson, extra hitter number 44 Henry Rounds, catching is number 2 Jack Connolly, and rounding out the order extra hitting Andrew Bombard wearing number 8 for EGC, and we are just about set.
Well, in typical Dave Pizzuto fashion, I outsmarted myself, and that's right. We did have it right. East Greenbush is our visiting team. So
we are all set. First pitch is a called strike 1.
Too many colors, too many abbreviations. Andrew, that's what happens.
Right. There are a lot of colors. The 0-1 is a big swing and a miss there from Des White. And he's quickly behind 0-2 here to start this game. The 0-2 from Miller is off the plate, and that'll be ball 1. Now a 1-2 count for Des White. Gets a piece. And fouls behind. Still 1-2. Good battle brewing here to start this game.
You say it every single game. Pitch count, definitely important. We'll keep our eye on that. Batters wanting to go deep into these pitch counts.
The 1-2 is swung on and missed by White. And Jude Miller strikes out his first batter face of this game. Great start for him.
Yeah, we saw him, and you mentioned it in the open. Great start 2 days ago as well. Got pulled relatively early in that game, and I guess we know why.
Next to the plate is left fielder Tyler Seaberger for EGC as he fouls off his first pitch.
As you know, after pitchers get through a certain threshold of pitches, they have to have mandatory rest days in between, and so by keeping him on a short leash on Tuesday, you get him right back out there on Thursday, and what they would consider, I'm sure, a must-win.
That just misses, and it's 1-1, and Jude Miller, huge part on both sides of the ball in that Saratoga win on Tuesday. As mentioned, just pitched 2 1/3. He came out real early, and we know the reason, as that's fouled off. And then, after he was done on the mound, came up to bat, hit a 2-run homer.
Right.
Really blew the game open. Jude Miller looking to do something similar here today. The 1-2, that's hit on the ground, back to Miller, able to corral it. He flips it over to first, 2 up, 2 down for EGC.
Nice start for Saratoga Springs defensively here. That was hit very weakly up the first base side, but with plenty of opportunity for Saratoga to make the play. Miller with the easy toss.
Miller picking up right where he left off in Game 2 of pool play for Saratoga Springs as the first pitch to LaGrave is hit high in the air into right, and that'll get down in shallow right for a base hit. LaGrave will extend the inning with EGC's first base hit with a single.
So he didn't want to wait long. He jumped on the first pitch he saw from Miller, as long as it was meaty enough to hit, and kind of ended up at no man's land behind the lip of the outfield, a few paces deep into that outfield. And now the cleanup hitter with a chance.
Knox Redmond made his effort, but this is hit on the ground to short. Nakua saw him the throw to first, and that'll do it for the side. No runs on a hit for EGC to start this game. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Scoreless.
And Andrew, while we have a moment, instead of kicking it to break,
sure.
Our broadcast colleague Joe Foreman created our updated standings. So we'll look at those, reflecting, if we can get it up here on our screen. There it is. So we see what pool play has to offer us, and I know, Andrew, you can't see it immediately on your screen, but EGC at 2-0 now, and they have the 6 runs allowed through 2 games. Massapequa Coast, by virtue of their win earlier, have allowed 13 runs. Now, they have allowed those. They had a couple of extra innings that they allowed those 13 runs. They're 2-1. Saratoga at 1-1. They've allowed just 8 runs. Penfield has been eliminated. They finished 0-3. They've given up 24 runs in their 3 games. But obviously, if East Greenbush wins, it's East Greenbush and Massapequa without having to use any tiebreakers. But Saratoga winning would force all 3 teams to have 2-1 records, and then that number in the right-hand column becomes the most important number, essentially. And the 2 lowest numbers there would advance to the semifinals. So we're going to keep our eye on that. And like you said in the open, that's why every single base runner and every single run, win or lose, becomes important. Of course, in this case, it has to come with a win from Saratoga.
Right, and that's where things really start to get interesting. As we just looked, Saratoga Springs winning this game creates a 3-way tie, and that's where that runs against comes into play. So once again, EGC winning this game would really solidify those 2 teams for this pod for tomorrow. And we'll get our first look at Saratoga Springs lineup. Gavin Murphy, the catcher, will lead off, pitching for East Greenbush, Sam Greco. And the first pitch from Greco gets away for ball 1. The 1-0. And that's high. That misses. And behind, Greco already 2-0. The 2-0 to Murphy. This is in solid contact, and that is going to be a base hit into center field, and a leadoff single for the catcher, Gavin Murphy, and a great start here for Saratoga Springs.
So both teams have registered a hit in the inning. Both teams have had a base runner now. And Saratoga, though, get it with the leadoff.
Francisco Cup at the plate will try and extend things here for Saratoga. As that just catches the zone for strike 1. Can't ask anything more of your leadoff man, Gavin Murphy. Put Saratoga Springs in a great spot as ducking out of the way as this is Cup. And that'll even the count 1-1. The 1-1 from Greco. Catch the zone. Gets it to 1-2. Once again, just able to catch that outer part of the zone. Lock up Cup. Now the 1-2 to Cup. Big swing and a miss, and a bounce back pitch there from Greco. Gets his first strikeout of the game on Cup for the first out for Saratoga Springs.
Nice job to come back after that bottom of the inning opening single. Report back in with a strikeout, not allowing the runner to advance on that out. Good job.
And with 1 on and 1 out, here's the shortstop, Nakua Sam, who looks at his first pitch just off the plate for ball 1.
Just as important as these pitchers are going to be these catchers, too, especially with runners on base, obviously. Not a deep backstop, but we've seen a lot of advances of bases due to wild pitches and pass balls.
Nakua Sam takes another pitch there. Once again, missing the zone. Nakua Sam off to a good start here. He's ahead 2-0. Cup over at first, or Murphy rather, over at first. As this is popped straight up in the air. And that'll fall into the stands behind and foul.
Nice 2-0 pitch to swing at there. Just got under it.
Greco gets set with the 2-1. That's in the dirt. That gets away. Advancing to second is Murphy. And now a runner in scoring position here for Saratoga Springs with just 1 away. Good spot for Nakua Sam with a 3-1 count as well.
Yeah, right on cue. We've seen that so many times. Runners advancing to scoring position.
The 3-1. And that's high. Nakua Sam takes ball 4, and now runners are at first and second here for Saratoga Springs and their pitcher Jude Miller, who comes to the plate.
Yes, and that means very quickly in this one, Greco will get a visit. They'll want to strategize here with 2 runners on base and 1 out registered. We saw how deeply into trouble Penfield got in their top half of the first inning against Massapequa. They walked 4 batters in that inning, sandwiched between a couple of hits, led to a 4-0 hole that they had to climb out of.
And Massapequa never looked back. I was just about to get to that point, and that's what EGC is really trying to prevent here. As Greco gets an early conversation, he gets set for the first pitch to Miller. Miller with a big cut at his first pitch for strike 1. Murphy over at second. Nakua Sam at first. 1 away in the inning. The 0-1. Miller gets a piece and fouls it away. He's quickly down 0-2.
Yes, and now Greco way ahead. He can work with his arsenal of pitches here, try and work around.
This is a big out right here for Greco. The 0-2 on the way. Off the zone. 1-2. Greco looks in. 1-2. That catches the zone. He strikes out his opposing pitcher, Jude Miller, for the second out of the inning. That's a big one for Sam Greco.
That's not an easy young man to strike out either. A huge one there. So 2 outs, both registered via the K. 2 men on. Last chance here for Saratoga.
2 on and 2 out for the first baseman, Ethan Booth. Sam Greco looking to get out of early trouble with 2 on. Gavin Murphy singled. Nakua Sam worked the walk. As this pitch gets away to the backstop, and both runners are going to advance. And now, runners in scoring position here for Ethan Booth.
So now you know the runners will be taking off on any bit of contact here, so anything sharply could have the potential to score both runs.
Booth with a big swing and a miss there for 2-1. He was looking for something to swing at there on 2-0. Greco, the 2-1. Swing and a miss again here by Booth. Greco is a strike away from getting out of danger.
Now Booth will have to protect the plate here and will have to try to make contact for the first time. Anything close to the strike zone.
The 2-2. This is hit high in the air into center. Coming on to make the catch is Carter LaGrave. He's got it. That'll end the inning. No runs on a hit and a walk for Saratoga Springs. And we head to the second, still scoreless. Dave, the Vuvuzelas have come out to start this second inning.
Yeah, we love that.
We definitely love that. Scoreless to start the second. And I've noticed a trend. I think it's the East Greenbush crowd with those Vuvuzelas. Yeah. It's been whenever they've been playing, the Vuvuzelas come out.
Kind of the soundtrack to the last few days, because after these games, I've been going home and watching some of the Women's World Cup that's going on in Australia and New Zealand, and it's pretty much all you hear, along with the chants of the crowd. So sometimes you go to bed just hearing those sounds.
You're right. Top of the second, we are scoreless. Both teams with a hit in that first inning. Saratoga Springs were able to get 2 on. Gavin Murphy with a leadoff single. Nakua Sam walked. They were left on second and third. And for EGC, Tyler Charlin playing right field. He'll lead things off. Let's see what else Jude Miller's got. Jude Miller gets set for the first pitch of the inning to Charlin, who goes after it. And he'll foul it away behind into the netting.
Probably hear the wind picking up in our microphones. We are back under the sunshine here, at least on the field, but wind is definitely picking up, blowing probably from first to third here.
That catches the zone, or just misses the zone rather, and it's 1-1. The 1-1 to Charlin. Big cut there. He falls behind 1-2 to Miller. Miller had a strikeout in that first inning. Now the 1-2. This is popped up. And fouled away by Charlin. Tyler Charlin, Sam Greco, and Trent Sales. First three batters of this inning for EGC.
Just missed.
And that just missed. 2-2 for Charlin. Hit high in the air, and that's going to bend backwards once again and foul.
Feel bad for some of those residences that are located behind first base. A lot of cars parked in driveways and on the streets there.
And it's just one narrow street separating home plate rather, and these houses.
Don't know where those missiles are hitting that are hit out of the park.
That pitch is high, so Charlin takes ball 4 to lead off EGC's side of the second.
We are veterans at this, Andrew, so whenever we're here, we park the furthest possible place where a ball has the capability to be hit. That's what happens with years of covering baseball.
First pitch swinging by Greco for strike 1. Miller looking to bounce back here. He definitely won't there as he hits Greco trying to bunt.
Now, Greco, because he
tried to bunt,
right,
I don't think. Yeah, that's
counts as a swing of the bat.
Right.
So couldn't back the bunt away in time to get caught on that. It looked like the upper part of the forearm.
That has him behind 0-2. And this pitch from Miller's pops straight up and once again right behind. Another 0-2. And this is popped up foul.
That one hit the upper grandstand and got out of here.
Count stays 0-2 for Sam Greco. Battling here with Miller as he will pop another one up foul. That's got to be 4 in a row.
Yep, and all of these at 0-2, so doing a great job of protecting the plate. At the very least, you want to be able to move that runner over.
Another 0-2 from Miller. And that's taken just off the plate for ball 1. That was a close call.
Yeah, it took a little bit off that pitch, too. That's tough to stay away from and not swing the bat at.
Now a 1-2 for Greco. He went around. That's strike 3. Jude Miller gets his second strikeout of the game on his opposing pitcher for the first out of the second inning.
Yeah, I think he swung through that check swing, but I don't think it would have mattered. That looked like strike 3 no matter what. Great bounce back once again by Miller.
First baseman Trent Sales steps to the plate for East Greenbush. He takes his first pitch looking for strike 1. Runner over at first is Charland. As that pitch sails away, and Charland is going to safely move up to second.
We oftentimes see batters square up that bunt in order to kind of trip up the pitcher, and that time it actually did work, as that was nowhere near the strike zone, way elevated.
1-1 count here, and that is caught looking for strike 2 by Sales. Jude Miller ahead. Gets set with the 1-2. And that misses high, and count back even up at 2-2. 2-2 to Sales, and that locked him up. Another strikeout for Miller. 2 in a row. That's his third of the game. And a big second out for Saratoga Springs.
And that was the theme with Miller on Tuesday as well. You know, he would dance around the strike zone. He would lose a couple of batters, but every time he needed that payoff pitch, every time he needed that strike 3, he reared back, found the strike zone, and he was tough to hit. It's the mark of a very composed young man on the mound.
Miller with the 1-0 here. That sails away, and so Charland takes off for third. The throw down to third is not going to be in time. A good effort by Gavin Murphy as that bounced right back to him off the padding of the backstop. Got a good throw down to third, just wasn't in time. And now Snevelli with 2 outs in the inning has a runner over at third. Swinging and missing at this. Big cut, and it's 2-1. And the 2-1 to Snevelli. That rolls away. Charland thinks about the plate. He's going to go back. Is that once again bounces right back to Gavin Murphy at the plate.
Yeah, you're at the mercy of that bounce, and most of the time it does go back near the batter's box.
3-1. And that's high for Snevelli. Ball 4. And now with 2 outs, runners at the corners for Eli Parkinson.
All right, so interesting situation here where they'll want to talk things over. Now with 2 outs, obviously, you just want to be able to get the sure out at first base if it comes to that on a ground ball. But here's another perfect example, Andrew, of a situation where we have not seen a hit. We've seen very little contact, in play. In fact, none of it in play. And yet there's runners at the corners with 2 out. So sometimes it doesn't take that monster hit. Sometimes it doesn't take that line drive. And sometimes it just takes patience at the plate. And the next thing you know, a pass ball here, a wild pitch there, and you can potentially break an inning like this open.
And good news for EGC is that they're really running up Miller's pitch count with that patience at the plate. He's already at 36 at an inning and 2/3. As this catches the zone for strike 1 on Eli Parkinson.
Parkinson looked like he put the bunt on as well, only to take it off.
Long look in here from Jude Miller. The 0-1. And that catches the zone. It's 0-2.
Good framework that time.
Runners at second and third for EGC. The 0-2 to Parkinson. That missed, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, Murphy did a nice job on that previous pitch to frame it up as a strike, and that one he tried as well, pull it back into the middle on the pitch that was a little bit outside. Now they have asked for time. Something got on the field by the backstop, a ball trickled out, so they'll tend to that.
Parkinson yet again gets set here after the time called. Loose ball behind the backstop there. As this ball gets away to the backstop, and nobody takes off.
Well, they did get the runner over to second, though.
And once again, Dave, that bounce on the backstop is crucial.
Yeah, right back to the catcher. But now they have 2 runners in scoring position. So now a base hit, essentially, you would think would score 2.
2-2 hit hard on the ground. That's going to get through the hole. Charlin's going to score. Snivelli holds up at third. And East Greenbush breaks the ice here in the top of the second. It is 1-0.
On their second hit of the game and their first of the inning, they've got themselves a 1-0 lead. Runners at the corners once again. Good piece of hitting that time by Parkinson.
Henry Rounds now will face Jude Miller with runners at the corners. Now, Parkinson quickly moves up to second. So second and third again here for EGC. And that's hit on the ground, foul by Rounds.
Doesn't matter what level of baseball you follow. Oh, how you lament those walks, Andrew, and errors. I mean, they always come back to bite you in some way, shape, or form at some point during a game, and it's what's led to East Greenbush's first run.
The 0-2. Big swing and a miss by Rounds, and Miller is able to get out of trouble, just giving up that one run on a hit and 2 walks in the inning. EGC, though, able to take the lead 1-0, headed into the bottom of the second. Are we good?
Yep.
We're back for the bottom of the second, in which East Greenbush able to extend the lead in the top of the second, or break the ice, I should say. Now they lead 1-0. 44 pitches already for Jude Miller.
Yeah, but most of that damage self-inflicted, Andrew. You know, you had the 2
Right.
walks in the inning. You had, I think, 3 wild pitches total in that inning with the base runners. And then all you needed was that one timely hit, that one line drive that gets through the infield. And the next thing you know, you have a lead going into your defensive half of the inning. And, you know, that's what you love to see if you're on the East Greenbush side. And, of course, what Saratoga has to come back into their dugout and talk about. And then, of course, now the plight begins about trying to get this game tied up and overtake the lead. Remember, this is a must-win game for Saratoga Springs. By virtue of the Penfield loss to Massapequa, they can no longer get in via a tiebreaker with a loss. So this must be a must-win situation for them.
It's going to start here in the bottom of the second with extra hitter Gavin Spickler leading it off. 6-7-8 for Saratoga Springs. Gavin Spickler, and then the second baseman Jackson Brailer, and right fielder Knox Redmond due up. And let's see how Saratoga Springs can answer. Lots of baseball to be played. 1-0 game as Greco gets set to start the bottom half of the second against Spickler. First pitch is high for ball 1. That pitch was low for ball 2. Greco's been efficient. 21 pitches. As that's off the plate. 3-0 for Spickler. That's in the dirt. Spickler able to earn a 4-pitch walk here to open up the home half of the second.
Not the start that you want defensively. We just finished talking about how much walks were a factor in the top half of this inning, and here we go, leadoff runner on.
Batters on both sides in this game have been very patient. A lot of walks so far already. Second baseman Jackson Brailer comes to the plate. He takes his first pitch looking for strike 1.
Certainly part of Little League strategy is getting to that bullpen as early as you can at times.
The 0-1. This is hit hard on the ground towards second. Picked up and stepped on second. The throw to first for the second out is not in time. Good effort there by Des White. Able to get the out over at second. Made a nice scoop as he ran up to it. Made the step, and the throw to first was just not in time.
Yeah, White had to go through a lot of motions in order to complete that play and hit on every single one of them. Throw was just a little bit late, getting in at first base.
The 1-0 from Greco. Catches the zone. It's 1-1. Right fielder Knox Redmond at the plate for Saratoga Springs as he looks at one in the dirt. He's ahead 2-1. He came in to relieve Jude Miller in Game 2 for Saratoga Springs, and he was able to close it out.
Yeah, did a nice job after getting into trouble in one of the innings where Massapequa came back, tied things up in the bottom half of their 6th inning.
And it looks like they're tending to catcher Jack Connolly.
Yeah, that one kind of jumped up at him. It kind of skipped in the dirt, and he did a nice job of keeping that ball with him, but
he's shaking his hand right now.
Might have hit him on the hands, and they're going to take a better look at him.
And it looked like, at first to me, it looked like he made an awkward motion just to keep that ball in front of him. His hand could have been involved in a fall to the side. Nonetheless, he's okay. Good news for East Greenbush as we'll play on. Get a few warm-up pitches here. Two and 1 is the count for Redmond. And that misses, so Redmond goes ahead 3-1. Runner at first, 1 out in the inning for Redmond. Time is called. Redmond gets set again. The 3-1. Swing and a miss by Redmond, and he's got a full count. The 3-2. And this is down the right field line and foul. Right to the first base coach. Greco looks in on another 3-2. And that misses another walk. This time it's Knox Redmond. And so runners at first and second here for Saratoga Springs to bring up John Frank.
2 walks in each half of this inning so far. And now at 34 pitches, Greco is going to get another visit, his second one, and I think we are going to see a change here, Andrew.
Yeah, that might
like
be it for Sam Greco.
It looks like White, either he was called in for defensive reasons to talk about the running situation, but no, he's being handed the ball. So Des White's going to be our new pitcher.
So that'll be all for Sam Greco.
Let's see what happens here. Looks like Greco's going into left field.
And Seeberger's coming up to short.
Right, so there are your changes. And when we come back, it'll be first and second with 1 out and a fresh start here for Des White. And Andrew, while we have a moment, we should talk about the other half of the standings. Let's go back to that graphic if we can in just a moment. So we were so fixated on the right half of your screen, but on the left half of your screen, the other pod will get underway at Great Kills at 5 p.m., and you can see South Shore Little League with a 2-0 record. They've only allowed 1 run in this tournament.
Incredible.
And they will face off against the second-place team, Maine Enwell. Right now, this is 1-1 at 10 runs allowed. Plainview is right behind them after the tough loss to South Shore. They rebounded nicely and beat Maine Enwell on Tuesday. They have 13 runs allowed. And then you have Cornwall, who also, like Penfield coming into today, still alive, but a lot would have to happen.
Need a
for
lot of
them.
help.
Exactly. Well, they would need some ridiculously high-scoring games in their half. But
Not to mention to win their game as well.
Correct. They would have to beat Plainview, and they would have to score a lot of runs in that game, and Maine Enwell would have to yield a bunch in their game against South Shore. So still plenty that can happen there. The 2-0 team facing off against a 1-1 team, and 1-1 facing off against 0-2. So there'll be plenty of storylines in that one. Joe Foreman and Nick Bavona will take you through all 12 innings of action and maybe more from Great Kills Little League beginning at 5 p.m. Of course, tune in a few minutes earlier for some pre-gaming between those two, and they'll talk a lot more about the other side. And then when semifinals are conducted, the top team from one pool will play the second place team from the other pool to start the semifinal round.
Well, as we're excited for those games, we'll get back to this one as this one's hit on the ground, thrown over to second for one. Seeberger spins and decides not to make the throw to first. So he gets the second out over at second. Runners now at the corners for Saratoga Springs.
Yeah, and wise not to take the chance there and throw that ball away, especially with a runner at third base looking to turn that corner. So good job there. Runners at the corners now with 2 out. And East Greenbush looking to squeeze out of this jam.
And for left fielder Dylan Levinitis, runners at the corners and 2 outs. And as you said, Dave, Des White coming on recently into the mound. He's going to try and close this out with the lead.
I had the count at 2-0, but it is 1-1.
That's hit hard on the ground by Levinitis. Seeberger will make the flip to second, and that'll be the third out of the inning. So White is able to escape the danger with men left on the bags for Saratoga Springs, and EGC will take their 1-0 lead into the third. And we're back. Third inning of play. East Greenbush-Castleton leads Saratoga Springs Little League 1-0 through 2 full innings. Jude Miller will continue to work on the mound for Saratoga Springs. Gave up the first run of the game back in the second inning. He's able to keep composed and get his way out of it. And he'll try and make quick work of this top of the third. Saratoga Springs trails 1-0. And Jude Miller already up to 44 pitches
and
through 2 innings.
The big difference in that inning, Andrew, was that when Miller got into trouble, he waited it out, but he did yield the run. And when Greco got into trouble in the bottom half, he was pulled for Des White. And then Seeberger, who came in from left field to play short, ends up making a couple of good plays in the field to close out the inning there. So EGC going to their bullpen and Saratoga staying with their starter here, Jude Miller.
Well, let's see what Jude Miller does here to bounce back in this third. After giving up the run in the second. First pitch to catcher Jack Connolly is a called strike one. The 0-1 falls in the dirt, evens the count. (11, 12, 1) for East Greenbush here in the top of the third. The 1-1 is fouled away right to the American flagpole, Dave.
Yeah. Which separates our 2 fields here.
Miller looks in on the 1-2. That catches the zone. Strike 3 called. Jude Miller with a big strikeout to start the third inning. And after the second, that's exactly what you want if you're Jude Miller. No better way to start the inning. And that'll bring up extra hitter Andrew Bombard for East Greenbush. As that pitch misses high and inside for ball 1. Now the 1-0 from Miller. That's high as well, so Miller falls behind 2-0 on Bombard. Back to the top of the order after Bombard, Des White. Recently came in relief for East Greenbush. And the 2-0 from Miller is able to catch the zone. It's 2-1. The 2-1 from Miller. That gets away, so a good position here for Bombard at 3-1. He's going to look for something to hit here. The 3-1. And this is ripped on the ground. 2 seconds, scooped up, and the toss to first is in time. 2 up, 2 down for East Greenbush. And a great effort over at second by Jackson Brailer. Jackson Brailer right underneath it. That was a bouncing ball in the dirt. Makes a nice scoop and a nice toss to first. Miller making quick work here in the top of the third. 2 up, 2 down, and now he faces the top of the order, Des White, who fouls off his first pitch. The 0-1 to White. And that catches the zone. Miller ahead 0-2. A strike away from a 1-2-3 inning is Jude Miller. That's hit hard on the ground to second. Nice catch by Brailer, and he's able to once again get it to first. No problem for the third out. EGC goes 1-2-3 in the top half of the third, but they continue with the lead into the bottom of the third, 1-0.
Host Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com.
We're back, bottom half of the third, about to begin. John Edwards will get things going for Saratoga Springs at the plate. Des White remains on the mound here for East Greenbush. He came in relief in the bottom half of the second.
He did
Cautious play.
Yeah, and did exactly what he had to do. He induced 2 ground balls, a couple of outs. Nice job that was done there, and EGC hanging on to this 1-run lead, and that's the way they want to keep it here. Saratoga Spring is the home team on the scoreboard, so this is the bottom half of the third inning.
That was a great conservative move by East Greenbush, as it looks like they're going to really take their time with any bit of danger they come into and really try and be conservative and protective of the lead. And that move definitely paid off. Des White did a great job to get out of the bottom half of the second. He'll look to do the same thing here against the 11, 12, and 1 of the Saratoga Springs lineup. John Edwards, Ben Kroenke, and Gavin Murphy. And the first pitch to Edwards on the way. That misses for ball 1. The 1-0. Edwards able to get a piece of it, bounce it behind him for a foul, and it's 1-1. One to Edwards. That's away, and Edwards goes ahead 2-1 here to open the inning. The 2-1 from White. Hit hard on the ground Deep in the hole to short. Seaberger whips it to first. The throw gets away. Edwards is going to stay put at first. Saratoga Springs will take that. Leadoff man is on here in the bottom of the third.
Second hit of the game for Saratoga. They got 2 men on in the last inning thanks to walks. That one was hit very deep in the hole at short. Seaberger did all he could to get that over.
That was a great effort by Seaberger. He was deep in the hole. Just couldn't get that throw on time or on line.
Yeah, and he came in from left field last inning, so
that's right.
He's done a good job taking over in that spot.
Ben Kroenke at the plate here as a 1-1 count as he takes that pitch low in the dirt. Runner at first, nobody out for Kroenke. And it's back to the top of the order and catcher Gavin Murphy. Swing and a miss there by Kroenke has him down 1-2. Here's White with the 1-2. Off-speed pitch gets Kroenke swinging. That's a strikeout for the first out of the bottom of the third. Nicely done there by White. Back to the top of the order, Gavin Murphy for Saratoga Springs. 1 on, 1 out for him. Another off-speed pitch there from White. Able to lock up Murphy for strike 1. Now the 0-1. Swing and a miss by Murphy. Des White finding his stuff here in the bottom of the third. The 0-2. Bounces in the dirt, gets away. Jack Connolly. Nice job by Jack Connolly there, Dave, to stay with it. John Edwards thought about taking off as this is hit hard on the ground through the hole. Base hit for Gavin Murphy. To second goes Edwards. And now Saratoga Springs in business here in the home half of the third with Cup coming up to the plate, just 1 away and 2 on. Big chance for Saratoga Springs to get on the board and in the game here. As that pitch gets away from White, and it's 1-0. The 1-0 to Cup. High and inside. He's ahead 2-0 here on White.
Important for White here to stay composed, stay true to what he's thrown so far.
A 2-0 misses, and White is behind 3-0. A 3-0 to Cup. That catches the zone.
Cup taking all the way, obviously. We'll see if he takes all the way on this pitch, too.
Runners at first and second with 1 away. The 3-1 to Cup. Catches the zone, takes again, and that'll fill the count.
Yeah, your number 2 hitter was taking there. 3-1 pitch. Bat in his hands now.
The 3-2. That misses, and a walk for Francisco Cup. Good battle that Cup won with White, and that'll fill the bases. With just 1 away in the inning for Saratoga Springs and a big chance for Nakua Sam.
Nakua Sam broke things open in that game on Tuesday to open up the scoring. Big chance for him again.
First pitch to Nakua Sam, bounces in the dirt, that gets away. Everybody staying put.
Yeah, understanding you may have White on the ropes here and he's going to get another visit. But understanding that you have White on the ropes here, you don't want to give away an out there. So Saratoga Springs staying home on the bases. And they are loaded and there is no place to put Nakua Sam. He is their number 3 hitter. And he's had a very good tournament here so far.
It looks like White will stay on. Doesn't look like they're making any change here. Edwards at third. Murphy's at second. Cup is at first. And this is Nakua Sam hitting one on the ground. Through the hole. Base hit. Edwards is going to score. Holding up at third is Murphy. But nonetheless, Saratoga Springs has gotten this game tied up at 1 run apiece here in the bottom of the third.
Hit number 4 now for Saratoga Springs in this game, and that's the one that gets this game even. And perhaps just getting started here as the bases still remain loaded. And still with 1 out, and Nakua Sam once again delivering with runners in scoring position.
Nakua Sam has been clutch in this pool play for Saratoga Springs, but a big spot here. Jude Miller, who hit a home run on Tuesday after pitching, steps to the plate with the bases loaded and just 1 away.
Yes, sir. This is someone you want up at bat.
The 0-1 to Miller. Off-speed pitch, catches the zone. He's behind 0-2.
This is why you're in the cleanup position, right? This is the golden opportunity he has.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss by Miller. Des White bounces back with a huge strikeout on the opposing pitcher, Jude Miller, who has not been an easy out at the plate either.
Yeah, he went golfing for that one. He went down too low for it. Looked juicy up there. At the bottom, fell out.
And that is a huge out number 2 with the bases loaded for Des White. As this is hit hard on the ground, that's going to get through the hole. Murphy's going to score. Cup is going to round third. He's going to go back. But Saratoga Springs has taken the lead. An RBI single for Ethan Booth.
Great job and good base running, too. Heads up on the play. And just like that, Saratoga Springs has taken a 2-1 lead.
They've come into the home third and have really come alive here against Des White. Now extra hitter Gavin Spickler to the plate for his second at bat, still with the bases loaded, 2 away in the inning. Takes his first pitch up high for ball 1. Now the 1-0 on the way. And that's in the dirt. Now Spickler in a good spot ahead 2-0.
30 pitches now for Des White.
The 2-0. That's going to catch the zone. Spickler looking. And it's 2-1. Des White with the 2-1. This is fouled off. Des White a strike away from limiting the damage here in the bottom of the third. Cup over at third. Nakua Sam at second. Booth at first. This one's driven into right. Coming on to make the play is Tyler Charland. And that'll end the side. They're able to limit the damage, but Saratoga Springs is able to take the lead. They lead at 2-1, headed to the fourth.
Attention, local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
And we're back. 3 innings down, 3 innings to go. Here, East Greenbush-Castleton against Saratoga Springs. East Greenbush coming into this game winning both of their first 2 pool games. And they trail by a score of 2-1 halfway through this one to Saratoga Springs. A big third inning for Saratoga Springs. As they trailed 1-0, East Greenbush broke the scoreless tie in the top of the second. Saratoga Springs able to answer in their side of the third. A couple of big hits from Cody Nakua Sam and Ethan Booth. And that's where we are here, top of the fourth. Jude Miller will continue to work here in the top of the fourth. Swinging a miss there. Tyler Seeberger at the plate for East Greenbush to lead off the fourth. So 2-3-4 for East Greenbush in their side of the fourth. As Seeberger rips this one into right. That's out of here. Tyler Seeberger, a solo shot into right. He ties the game at 2, wasting no time here in the top of the fourth.
And they hail him as he comes into home plate. Great job there. And one swing of the bat, we are tied.
Just 2 pitches in to this fourth inning. And a huge shot there from Tyler Seeberger makes this a new ball game once again. As we're tied 2 runs apiece here, top of the fourth. Nakua Sam and Gavin Murphy came over to have a little discussion with Jude Miller there. Nonetheless, Carter LaGrave, center fielder, steps to the plate here. And he goes after his first pitch and he'll foul it away.
Fans at home got to see that home run again, Andrew, and just hopped right on it and got every bit of it.
Big cut there from LaGrave. He's down quickly 0-2 to Miller.
We haven't seen a lot of home runs hit to right field in this tournament. That was a sure shot.
I was just going to say that was a no-doubter, too, not just to right. Impressive shot there by Tyler Seeberger. Another foul ball here by LaGrave keeps it at 0-2. And the 0-2 for Miller. Swing and a miss by LaGrave, so Miller bounces back after the home run with a strikeout on LaGrave. And that's one away. Extra hitter Alex Therian to the plate now against Jude Miller. That just misses for ball 1. 2 runs apiece here as we play on in the top of the fourth. Back and forth affair. As that pitch just misses. And Jude Miller's behind 2-0 here to Therian. And the 2-0 misses, so Jude Miller falls behind 3 straight balls to Alex Therian. The 3-0. He swings at that and fouls it away. Swinging on 3-0, not something you usually see. Therian goes for that one. Just gets a piece of it. It's 3-1. 3-1 to Therian. And that is ball 4, so Alex Therian comes on after the strikeout, and he's able to get on base with 1 away. And right fielder Tyler Charlin comes to the plate. Scored the game's first run back in the second inning. Goes after his first pitch, right to Miller at the mound. Throw to second is bobbled and dropped. And so everybody is safe.
That's unfortunate if you're Saratoga, but that is not the first time in this tournament we've seen the fielding team try to go to second there. And there'll be a little bit of a conversation as whether or not that should have been an out, and it was on the transfer that the ball came out, which was what I was going to say to begin with, Andrew, because that's definitely in play. They are discussing it. Coach overruled.
And that ball just came out of the glove of Nakua Sam. Couldn't hang on to it. Miller made a great play at the mound. What a snag. And he turns around quickly to throw it to Nakua Sam over at second. Just a little too hot to handle for Nakua-Sam. With one away, EGC has runners at first and second. This is hit high in the air down the right field line. And caught for the second out. Sliding into third safely is Therian.
And after the throw to third, runner able to get to second as well.
Heads up play by Charland.
So despite the out, both runners advance, so now a base hit could potentially score two.
First pitch for Miller. This is hit hard on the ground. Nakua-Sam had to go down for that. It was a tricky bounce. That's going to score a run for East Greenbush. They now have the lead 3-2. Tough play for Nakua-Sam, who nearly had it on the bounce. It just gets by him.
Yeah, that time was just unfortunate, just like you said. And East Greenbush able to get the lead back here unconventionally.
Nakua-Sam went down on the dirt when he should have stayed up. It was just a tricky bounce to handle.
Goes back to that error, of course, with the play at second base.
Conference being held with Miller at the mound.
And again, Andrew, we have the gift of hindsight being 2020, obviously, but again, I've never liked that. I've never liked it when the pitcher has gone back to make that play at second base. I know it works 75, 80, 90% of the time, but just seen so many times on every level of baseball how that play can get mishandled at some point, and then that base runner comes back to haunt you later.
Especially in such a close game.
Right, and this inning conceivably would have been over at this point with no harm done. Instead, we have what we have here, which is runners at the corners. You're down by one again.
Carter Snevelli is at the plate for East Greenbush. 3-2 lead now for East Greenbush as that first pitch to Snevelli catches the zone. Jude Miller will continue to work on the mound for now. He's up to 71 pitches already for Saratoga Springs through 3 2/3 as that misses.
Runner will go from first to second.
And Sales, like you said, Dave, good heads-up play there by Sales. Moves up to second now, to second and third for East Greenbush. The 1-1 to Snevelli. This is slapped high and deep into center field. Forget that. A 3-run shot. Carter Snevelli. It is 6-2 East Greenbush in the top of the fourth. Carter Snevelli got all of that. And another no-doubter for East Greenbush, this time to center field. They were able to tie the game on a home run. They took the lead, and a 3-run homer there blows it open. It is now 6-2, as now this is hit high and deep into right center, and that is going to get down in the gap for a base hit. Parkinson with his second hit of the game, and the inning will continue.
Things have gotten from bad to worse here for Saratoga. Very unfortunate. All of these runs technically unearned.
That might do it for Miller.
Yeah, Miller up to 74 pitches, ailing a little bit, and he gives the ball back to his manager. And it looks like we will have our first reliever of the day for Saratoga.
And you wouldn't think this would be the outcome here in the top of the fourth after such a close game. What was becoming, and East Greenbush finds a way here in the top half of the fourth. And it is going to be Knox Redmond coming in from right field to take the mound, just as he did in Game 2 for Saratoga Springs. It was Jude Miller, and then Redmond closed it out. Redmond in a little bit of a different situation here, down 4.
And again, Andrew, you don't want to harp on, obviously, the error that was made in the inning. But, again, it's the little things. It's the batters, taking a pitch for ball 4 instead of, swinging away. It's the batter who chooses to go after a pitch early, early in his at-bat and turns on one and gets that big base hit. These are the little things that happen in the middle of what is usually a long 6-inning game. But it's these little battles that come during the game that really are the difference. And here you have a situation where the game is tied up and you could get out of an inning with a clean fielding play, and instead the avalanche starts and one bad thing leads to 2 and 3, and the next thing you know, now you're down by 4 runs. Now there's plenty of baseball to go here in this one. Saratoga, especially with the inning that they had in the bottom of the 3rd, should feel comfortable that they could scratch away into this deficit. But starting this next half inning, it starts to get late early, but you got to get to that half inning first.
And it starts right here with Knox Redmond. He has just 1 out to limit the damage here in the top of the 4th. He needs to get that out here against Rounds. Hill is already becoming very steep for Saratoga Springs here in the top of the 4th. First pitch from Redmond. And the first pitch to Rounds is in the dirt for ball 1. Swing and a miss there by Rounds, evens the count. Parkinson is over at first. And the 1-1 is hit high in the air down the right field line, but that'll bend foul. Redmond ahead 1-2 here on Rounds. Up next would be the catcher Jack Connolly for East Greenbush as the 1-2 on the way. Low and even count at 2-2. Good patience here by Rounds. The 2-2. And this is in the air.
Foul ball, looks like.
In front of the Saratoga dugout for a foul ball.
We should mention, too, at this point, Andrew, that at this point, having yielded the 6 runs, Saratoga has now officially given up more runs than Massapequa has in this tournament. So that's something that we need to pay attention to as well, because even should they come back and win this game,
might be tough.
It might be tough. They wouldn't edge Massapequa out on runs allowed. However, if they come back and win, it means that they put up a bunch of runs against the team they're facing, which would also be a part of that tiebreaker.
And Rounds strikes out here against Redmond. So Saratoga Springs at least able to get out of the inning, not before EGC not only ties it, but they took the lead. 5 runs came across in the inning. They have the 6-2 lead headed to the bottom of the 4th. And we're back, bottom of the 4th. Des White will continue to work for East Greenbush as East Greenbush now finds themselves with a commanding 4-run lead. Head to the bottom of the 4th. They put up 5 in that top of the 4th. And that big 3-run homer by Carter Snivelli really set them apart from Saratoga Springs. Tyler Seeberger tied the game at 2 with that solo shot to open the inning. East Greenbush didn't really look back from there. Chased Jude Miller out of the game. Redmond was able to come in and close out the inning, but East Greenbush, a big lead here, 6-2 with just 2.5 innings left in this one. Jackson Brailer will lead things off for Saratoga Springs. 7, 8, 9 due up in the home half of the fourth. Des White, first pitch to Brailer. Brailer goes after it, hits a high in the air, and over to grab it is Snevelli. One pitch, one out for Saratoga Springs here in the bottom of the fourth.
Nice job defensively. That's what you want to do, and induce those harmless pop-outs.
Snevelli did a great job not losing it in the sun. That sun is beaming down on that field right now. So Knox Redmond up to the plate. Recently came in to relieve. He goes after his first pitch and misses. And it's 0-1. On deck is the center fielder, John Frank, for Saratoga Springs. Already one away in the inning. The 0-1 off-speed pitch. Another swing and a miss by Redmond. And White is working real quickly here in the bottom of the fourth. The 0-2. Solid contact to short, and the catch is made by Seeberger in the dirt.
Beauty, a web gem there for Seeberger, who's been really good there in that spot. And it's almost as if Des White never had that last half of that inning where he was in all that trouble losing batters. His confidence is back, working quickly.
And a big play by Seeberger once again at short, who slotted in nicely at short today. Since White's come into the game, he had one small hiccup right after he came into the game. Since then, he has been real solid with the plays he's made at short. That is
did not go.
Going to be ball one. John Frank did not go around, 1-1. And this is hit hard on the ground to third. Snevelli with the grab to throw to third will end the inning. Saratoga Springs goes down real quickly here as Des White able to get them 1, 2, and 3. We head to the fifth with a 6-2 score. Two innings to go here. Saratoga Springs, East Greenbush-Castleton. East Greenbush-Castleton with a commanding 4-run lead to start this fifth inning. Knox Redmond came on the mound in relief in the fourth for Jude Miller. Was able to close out the inning, just needed one out. So he'll continue. And he needs a big inning here with his team down 4 and just 6 outs to go at the plate. $11, 12, and 1 are due up for East Greenbush. Catcher Jack Connolly will lead off. And this has to be a big defensive inning here for Saratoga Springs. They want any chance to coming back here as that first pitch from Redmond gets away. And it's 1-0. The 1-0. And that misses as well. Connolly was showing bunt, decided to take, and he's ahead 2-0. Takes again. Connolly off to a good start here. 3-0 to start the fifth. Here's Redmond with the 3-0. That catches the zone, taken all the way there, Connolly. And good position here to lead off the inning. He's in a 3-1 count. The 3-1 from Redmond. Hit on the ground, chopped to third. Miller is there, throws the first, and that's one away for East Greenbush. Miller with a good handle there at third on the chop. Makes a nice throw down to first. That'll bring up Andrew Bombard for his second at bat. Goes after his first pitch and fouls it away behind.
Yeah, and for Saratoga Springs, it's obviously paramount that you keep EGC at bay from here and give your team a chance in their last 2 innings to scratch out some runs and get themselves even to go into extra innings or obviously take the lead.
That pitch was in the dirt. It's taken for ball 1 by Bombard, and he's got a 1-1 count. A 1-1. Catches the zone. Redmond, nice off-speed pitch there to lock up Bombard. And he's ahead 1-2 here on Bombard. One, 2 on the way. Swing and a miss by Bombard. 2 up, 2 down. And East Greenbush is fifth.
So far, so efficient right now for Knox Redmond.
He's been a good reliever for Saratoga Springs from what I've seen so far in pool play.
Right.
First pitch finds the zone here against Des White. And it's 0-1. Knox Redmond looking for a quick outing here in the fifth. 0-1 falls in the dirt, and that'll even the count. The 1-1. And this is popped high in the air, and once again will bend backwards on top of the grandstand for another foul ball. 1-2. And this is driven to second. Great grab. The throw is not going to be in time.
Yeah, no shot that time, as that was so deep into the hole that by the time they got back to first base to cover, runner was safe.
Jackson Brailer really had to track that one down in the dirt.
Unofficially hit number 7 for EGC in this one.
So Tyler Seeberger, who solo homered in his last at bat, will come on with 2 away in the top of the fifth. He's got a runner over at first. And Des White. Now the 1-0 from Redmond. This is hit in the air towards short, and making the leap is Nakua Sam for the third out. Great grab on the lip of the outfield. EGC leaves 1, but they take their lead by 4, headed into the bottom of the fifth. Bottom of the fifth. Time is running out on Saratoga Springs. They have 6 outs to play with, down by 4 runs. And it looks like Des White will continue his strong work on the mound, coming in relief earlier in this game when it was just a 1-0 EGC lead.
Yeah, this comes in with having tossed 40 pitches in this one. And you said it, Saratoga Springs running out of time here. They're down to the last 6 outs. And they managed to keep EGC off the scoreboard in that 5th inning. Critical that they did, because They give themselves a shot. They get a base runner on, and then potentially they can get the winning run at the plate at some point from there. Or the game-tying run, I should say. But all you want to do is start stringing together some base runners here if you're Saratoga Springs. But every out now becomes extremely critical. Your team is now in their second or even third time around, closing in on that. So here we go.
10, 11, 12 due up for Saratoga Springs. Left fielder Dylan Levinitis will start things off against Des White. He's been real efficient in relief as this is hit high in the air. No, that's going to be caught at shortstop by Seeberger.
Yeah.
Seeberger makes another great play on the lip of the infield at short for a quick first out.
Yeah, second or third time I tell myself in my head that's going to be trouble, and Seeberger just makes it look easy. Nice job. That's why these teams are here. They do all the little things correctly. One out.
Quick first out once again by Des White. And that brings John Edwards to the plate. He goes after his first pitch, ripped on a line to short. Seeberger once again there. The throw to first is in time. 2 up, 2 down very quickly for Saratoga Springs in the bottom of the fifth.
If you're an EGC fan, this is music to your ears right now and to your eyes. Exactly what you've wanted to see.
Strong work at short by Seeberger. Once again, slotting in real nicely since having to shift over to short from right, or left rather. As that's a big swing and a miss by Ben Kroenke at his first pitch for 0-1. Des White looking on with the 0-1. Kroenke goes after that. It's 0-2. Des White, 1 strike away from a real quick inning here. The 0-2. That catches the zone, strike 3. Des White, beautifully done for EGC. He gets Saratoga Springs 1-2-3. 1 inning to go. East Greenbush leads it 6-2.
Attention, local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
1 inning remaining here in this one. East Greenbush leading it by 6-2. They have one more chance here at the plate, leading. And then one last chance, 3 final outs for Saratoga Springs, who trail by 4. Saratoga Springs with a new pitcher on the mound. That's Francisco Cup.
Yes, we saw Cup in the first game, I believe, in this tournament on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. His job, of course, is to keep EGC off the scoreboard in this inning, give his team a shot down by 4 runs. Obviously, and Saratoga, this is a must-win game for them in order to have a shot to advance. If EGC holds on and wins this game, if this score holds in any way, shape, and form, then they would finish first in their pool, and Massapequa Coast would finish second. Both of those 2 teams would advance into tomorrow's semifinals. And the way it works, and we don't know which team would play first or second, but the top team from this pod of teams would play the second-place team from the other pod, and vice versa.
Interesting to see that.
Right, so they crisscross.
Both crossover.
Both divisions combine for semifinals.
3-4-5 here in the top of the 6th for East Greenbush. So a test for Cup on the mound to get out of the 6th inning as the meat of the lineup here for EGC is up. The 0-1 to LaGrave is popped up, and that'll be fouled away to the grandstand again. A lot of balls up top there today.
Yeah. what that means for the semifinals, just getting back to that point, Andrew, is that if you're able to beat the team across pods from you, there's a chance, as we see a strikeout there, there's a chance that you can very well see the team that was in your pod in the championship game. So if the first and second seeds win their semifinal games, then the top 2 seeds from the same pod can have a chance to meet for the championship.
Usually don't see that type of bracket style. It's very interesting. As Therian goes after his first pitch and fouls it off. Francisco Cup able to set LaGrave down on strikes to open the inning. And now the 0-1 to Therian. That's swung on and missed for strike 2.
And different districts and regions do it in different ways. We've seen double elimination style between 8 teams as well.
Now an 0-2 from Cup. That just misses, and it's 1-2.
Something obviously that we've talked about during the week as well. Pool play allows for all teams to at least get 3 games in.
Popped up by Therian and another foul here. We've seen some impressive stuff from all 8 teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a great week of baseball, to say the least. As Therian rips this one into right center, right to the wall. Therian will round first. He'll head to second. The throw in is not going to be in time as he slides in safely.
Nice piece of hitting. That was a rocket line drive into right center. Made it tougher for Therian to get all the way to second that quickly, but he's put himself in scoring position. Big insurance run standing at second base.
Well, you said it, Dave. Insurance, big chance here for more for East Greenbush. As Charlin goes after his first pitch, a bouncer to second, picked up, thrown to first.
And be safe.
I believe he was safe.
Yeah.
Close call over at first.
Just another one of those ground balls hit just too deep into the hole. Fielded well. Throw was good, but too much time.
Once again, great effort by Jackson Brayler over at second. Just too deep in the hole.
Little defensive indifference there as the runner was moved over from first to second.
This is Sam Greco at the plate now. He started the game on the mound. He was pulled before he gave up a run.
Yeah, got into trouble with a couple of walks and then was immediately yanked.
Now the 0-2 to Greco. This is hit on the ground to short. The throw to first is going to beat Greco. Taking off for third was Charland. He is ailing as he slides in at
I
third.
think that the ball might have caught him, or maybe the passing glove might have caught him. I'm surprised he didn't go home on that.
And nonetheless, Dave, EGC is able to extend their lead to 5 on that play.
Yeah,
Saratoga Springs able to pick up the second out on the throw to first.
very surprised because I don't think there was any chance that throw was coming home. I'm surprised they stayed at third base there.
Yeah, I'm as well. But runner on at third for Trent Sales. 2 away. East Greenbush is able to extend their lead in this top of the 6th with a run as this one's hit into left in front of Levinitis. Base hit, and Charland will come home, and it's a 6-run lead for EGC.
Yeah, I apologize, Andrew. That run did indeed come home on that last at-bat. I'm sorry. I was thinking about the runner at third going home. It looked like I thought at first that he didn't, but he indeed did. So it is 8-2, the runner at first.
Snivelli calls time before his first pitch. So big insurance here, Dave, for East Greenbush.
No question.
As the first pitch is hit hard on the ground to short. Nakua Sam, the throw down to first. That'll end the side, but East Greenbush does more work offensively here on their side of the sixth, bringing 2 more runs home to add to their lead. It is 8-2, headed to the bottom of the sixth. Last chance for Saratoga Springs.
Yeah, and we'll keep it right here, Andrew, as we'll take you through this game, the rest of this game, commercial-free, and gives us a chance, Andrew and I, a chance to say thank you to everybody who has tuned in this week as part of pool play Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We'll pretty much do it for us as far as pool play. Of course, our colleagues Joe Foreman and Nick Pavona will have the call at Great Kills and will complete their 6 games in their half of pool play. And then we'll all be together on Friday for the semifinals and on Saturday for the championship. You guys will be there doing 3 guys on the mic and on the headset. And,
That'll be fun.
Yeah, it should be a good time. And you know, our broadcasts usually and predominantly work with a 4-man crew. We usually have someone working our camera, someone working our engineering unit, and a play-by-play and a color commentary. So we've been kind of double shifting ourselves and doing multiple jobs at once. So we've had a couple of technical difficulties throughout the week, but we really thank all of you for hanging in with us and for sharing information via the chat and for communicating with us offline and developing friendships and, just good relationships in the future. Of course, Staten Island is hosting this tournament, Andrew, for the next 2 years as well. So we obviously hope to be there. And what we would love is for all of our viewers to, tell people how much you've enjoyed this broadcast. And if you'd like to have us back next year, we'd, of course, love to be a part of things. And again, just a great big thank you from all of us at PDF. I'm sure Joe and you guys as a crew for the championship will reiterate that. But certainly a pleasure to cover these games with you, Andrew, these last 6. And
as well with you, Dave.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
And we still got a half inning of fireworks to go here.
So once again, big thanks to everybody with their support for this, as the first pitch is on the ground here in the bottom of the 6th to short. Seeberger makes a great throw to first. 1 pitch, 1 out, and Saratoga Springs is down to their final 2 outs.
Yeah, and just as soon as I said we had technical difficulties, I lost my scoreboard capability for a second, got it back on as that went bye-bye and had to pull it back in.
Thankfully, 2 outs left, and
sometimes I think these electronic devices and computers can hear us, and we never want to jinx it by saying, nothing's going wrong, and then that's when things go wrong.
The 0-1 to Cup, that bounces in the dirt. He's got a 1-1 count.
In fact, I know electronics can hear us, right, at this point.
2023, Dave.
With Alexa and Siri on our side.
Cup awaiting the 1-1 from White. Swinging and missing, and he falls behind 1-2. Des White looking to get the closeout here for East Greenbush. What a job he's done in relief for Sam Greco, as this is hit hard on the ground to second. Picked up by Parkinson. The throw to first is in time. And Saratoga Springs is down to their final 3 strikes.
And Andrew, let me ask you, with 1 out to go, and seemingly EGC on their way to victory, what do you make of the 2 teams in this pod, EGC and Massapequa? We saw them both go into extra innings on Tuesday. What do you make of them in the semifinal round?
Well, I think that's going to be a very high-scoring affair. I mean, you could tell by East Greenbush, the last 2 games they played, they scored 9 and they scored 8 in this one. 17 runs throughout the last 2 games for them. And Massapequa, talk about scoring runs, 15 runs today in their winning game just before this. So I expect it to be high-flying action in that semifinal, for them at least.
Yeah, whoever they match
up, right.
And South Shore has put up a bunch of runs in their 2 games there. They've yet to lock things up, but they seem like a sure-fire bet, having only given up 1 run through 12.
Kuwasam rips one into right. That's a base hit. The throw to first is not going to be in time. Good effort by Tyler Sharland.
Hit number 6 of the game for Saratoga Springs. They are not done yet. They don't appreciate Andrew and I moving on to the semifinal round. Say, hold up.
Right.
Still got something to say about that.
That was Nakua Sam with a ringing base hit off the bat there to keep the inning moving and the game moving, as Jude Miller will come to the plate for the 3rd time. His first pitch off the plate for ball 1. Des White looking in on the 1-0. Looking to close this game out here against Miller as this is hit hard on the ground through the hole. Another base hit here for Saratoga Springs. Rounding second. And then going to second. And they are safe. Nakua Sam safely makes it into third. Jude Miller safely into second. And runners in scoring position all of a sudden for Saratoga Springs.
All right, so
they're going to try and make it at least a bit closer here.
yeah, some of their big bats in the order getting on base now. Runners at second and third. We'll get another mound visit here for EGC.
And it's Ethan Booth coming to the plate. He's driven in one of two Saratoga Springs runs in this game. So a chance to add at the very least, add a little bit more and close the scoring gap for Ethan Booth and Saratoga Springs as Des White. Little discussion on the mound.
Yeah, and, you know, run ratio doesn't mean a thing here unless Saratoga wins. And so you'd like to think that the coaches are telling their pitcher here, hey, just attack. Just attack. You have a 6-run lead.
Just get the game done.
We need some strikes. Let your defense work behind you. Don't worry about the runners on base. They don't matter. Just let's get this final out. Let's get out of here and move on to the semis.
One last test indeed for Des White here with Ethan Booth at the plate. First pitch to Booth. Sails a bit high for ball one.
Booth, another big bat. Looks like we've avoided those rains that were promised to us.
1-0 to Booth. And this is slapped high in the air down the right field line and foul into the netting.
Andrew, you and I got absolutely soaked the
We
last
did.
time it rained here on Staten Island.
All that matters is we got the equipment out with no harm at all. As this is hit high in the air. Seeberger is right there on the infield by short, and that's the ball game. East Greenbush-Castleton goes to 3-0 through pool play, and they will move to the semifinals.
Absolutely, and by virtue of their win, it moves Massapequa Coast over to the semifinals as well. So that pod is now complete, eliminated with a 1-2 record is Saratoga Springs. And Andrew, much like we did with Penfield, we take our hats off to Saratoga Springs. They gave us some very good baseball. They held Massapequa to just 5 runs in their first game, tried to scratch back in there, and they held off Penfield, got a couple of big innings there to secure a win in this, and they were right there neck and neck with EGC for a good part of this one until EGC broke it open. And so congratulations to them on a big season. But how about East Greenbush-Castleton? They are the winners of this pod. They will be the number 1 team coming out of their pod in the semifinals, and that's a great look for these guys.
Yeah, and they are a team to fear. As I mentioned earlier, they have scored 17 runs over their last 2 games played as they beat Massapequa in Game 2 by a score of 9-5. In this one, they win it 8-2. So they're going to be one of the teams to beat, I think, in the semifinal. And, well, for the rest of the way, I should say, right. East Greenbush, they are a strong offensive team. And hats off to Des White as well. What a relief job for Des White coming in such a close game, too. It was tied 2-2, or it was a 1-0 game, actually, when he came in.
Right.
And it was still close after that. It was 2-2 at one point, and White was able to get them out and keep it to where it was, the score. And great job all around by this team on both sides of the ball. East Greenbush-Castleton, as you said, Saratoga Springs, they kept it close in the beginning, had a couple of big hits. They chased Greco from the mound. They got East Greenbush into some trouble, but it's East Greenbush really with large run support once again to get the victory and move on to semi-play.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think what the 2 teams that come out of this pot have shown us is that they can get timely hitting when they need it. They can get some big pitches when they need it. They run the bases really well. They play the field really well. They got multiple tools. They hit for power when they need it. And both of these teams from this pool, which we have had the pleasure of covering on Tuesday and again today, they are going to be a very, very tough out for the teams across the way who are also very, very talented and very, very good. So I think we're going to have two extraordinary semifinal games tomorrow afternoon. Two of those teams are set. The other four are battling for the remaining two spots in the semifinals. Those games should be wild. They start at 5 o'clock at Great Kills.
Well, absolutely, Dave. That's going to wrap things up here at South Kills for us. East Greenbush once again takes it by a score of 8-2, and they move to 3-0 as they beat Saratoga Springs to move on to the semifinal. You can catch Joe Foreman and Nick Bavona tonight at Great Kills at 5 p.m. for Maine Endwell and South Shore, their final game of pool play, and then again at 8 p.m. for Plainview and Cornwall for their final game of pool play. And then again tomorrow morning, you can catch us for the semifinal between whichever teams win tonight, and East Greenbush and Massapequa. And for Andrew Rotundo, this has been Dave Pizzuto on engineer and color commentating. And have a great day, everybody. Thank you again so much for tuning in this week on the 2023 New York State Little League Championship on PDF Sports Network.